Welcome back. I do apologize that I got a bit emotional in my last video, but I think it's a really sensitive topic anyway. So, especially what comes about children and death of children. So, my comfort zone was broken. I stepped it out. I spoke about the thing what was years and years a taboo and shame in my perception, whenever actually it's a thing what everyone should talk about, because there are many people who are suffering like in their minds with guilt, shame and things like that regarding terminations. But other things, overall I wanted to speak about the grief and some things about the grief. It's like we always grieve whenever we lose something. It doesn't matter, is it just a normal everyday life thing or is it death? But I want to speak more about the death because that's something I have been putting away for a long time, simply because I just recently was dealing with emotions regarding death. So I'm not to say that people who die at older age or old people, when you lose someone who is very old, like your grandparents or parents who are very old already, as a matter of fact, for whichever reason, as much as it hurts, we still accept it. And quite often there are the cases when we know that they actually feel way much better, because what does it mean feel way much better? They don't feel anything because they are dead. But the fact that we know that it's better for them because maybe they were suffering from illness or whatever else. But the fact is, when older person dies, it doesn't feel as harsh as when there is a death of child or newborn or unborn. But it's like two different sort of grievings. And if you lose someone who is maybe your age, what is quite young, and for whichever reason we feel it more harsh rather than when old person dies. The thing is, this acceptance in our mind for old person dying is the fact that they have lived their life, they had a full life with all possible experiences, and they lived it on a full whichever way, and they had so many memories and everything. From other point, it makes it, especially if you have had a lot of time with them, it feels quite hard to get over their death, simply because maybe they were your closest person and suddenly you feel that void, that you don't have anyone with whom to talk anymore, or they were your greatest support and suddenly you have no one who is doing that. But let's be fair, in that case, why it is harder for us who are staying? Those people don't suffer. They died and they are in peace and their soul has gone, but they are always around us. I know that for a fact. And it's just the body what is dead. And the thing is, for us who stays, it's only harder simply because we have all these memories and we are still alive. And like, it's I think it's most of the part because we have so many memories what keeps us stuck in grieving like stages. Sometimes it goes easy, but I think it's quite possible how big bond you had with this person. Like, it's kind of interesting. No offense to my grandpa, who is not alive anymore, but I never felt really strong bond with him at all. It's like we didn't have it at all. And when he died, even we have spoken, and even before he died, just maybe a year before we met and we were talking, it's like I know he's my grandpa, but when he died, I didn't feel a thing. I felt sad for my mom, yeah, I felt sad for my auntie. I felt sad even for my older cousin who had a bond with him. But as myself, in a way I felt, well, he's in peace, it's fine, it's good. He wasn't young and he had a stroke anyway, and he was like partly paralyzed. So in a way I was looking at on all that really from a rational standpoint. But different case was when it was, yeah, it was like 15, yeah, it's 15 years ago. In August it will be 15 years ago when my friend died, and he didn't reach even 25 year old, like 25 years. He died 3 months before his birthday when he would turn 25. That was different case scenario. I was really close with him. We were sweethearts at the school and we had a strong bond anyway. And when he died on his funeral day, at first I was like really numb. And when the tears just got out of my eyes, I did cry non-stop till the end of the day. It was like something I couldn't stop. I was just crying all the time. And that's the first time when I actually experienced the grief and all the stages of grievance. And it was like I went through that first moment before I cried. It probably was that shock part. The thing is, like, we went through many things with him, and his death was quite unexpected for me anyway. Well, not really. It's sort of, there was already, it was a possibility he was gonna die, but it was like, you know, when you still have a hope and you do everything to prevent that, it's like you sort of fight against something which you can't even stop. But yeah, it was like, at first it was like really like, you know, you don't have any emotions, you just go and do and you try your best and everything. And then it's like all these stages just go through your mind and through your everyday life. I remember when his birthday came and I was like reaching for my phone. I took my phone and I was like about to call him, and suddenly it's like, it was like, he is not alive. And back then it wasn't like social media or anything else too much. It was like just, it's just like I wasn't still on this acceptance part that he actually has died. I still felt like somewhere in between guilt and emptiness and everything else. It was like really, really hard. It's really, then I was blaming myself for whichever reason. You know, like people have this tendency to blame themselves whenever it's nothing they can do. Death is death. Everyone has their own time, and we don't know that time. But for whichever reason, people tend to blame themselves for someone else's death when it's nothing to do with them. So yeah, that was my first experience about going through all these different stages of grief. And when I was looking from the side, one thing what I can't understand in nowadays is social media. In this case, like long time ago, there were no social media. If people wanted to make a remembrance day, they were going to wherever the person is buried, or where they have a stone, memory stone, or whichever place they are. They leave the flowers or lit some candle, or if you want to write a message or something, you just write it and you bring it to that place and leave it there. And nowadays it has become really trendy to put these things like happy birthday to my mom in heaven or dad in heaven, and I don't understand that. Were you running around all your village putting in a post to everyone, oh, happy birthday to my mom in heaven, she would have a birthday today, or dad, or whoever? You never did that. Why to do that on social media? It's a private thing. One thing is when you announce about someone's death, but another thing when you every year post this type of messages. I know you miss your mom or dad or your relative. We all know, and we all miss our people who we lost. But this thing has become so trendy, and it seems it's more of an attention seeking rather than actual remembrance. It's attention seeking in a way, oh, please pity me, or please message me because my mom would have a birthday today. If you need to speak with someone on that moment, speak to those who knew your relative or friend, who knew, just share with them. Make a remembrance day together with them. If you can't get together, just chat with them. It's like, it's really, it shows that you have a problems if you non-stop post and share things like that. I'm not being disrespectful to those who grieving, and I know strong bond and support from someone who died, it can be really challenging in a future life. But long time ago there were no social media. Why it has become so trendy now? It's a private thing. It's your grief, it's your person who died. No one will gonna help you to get over that. Only you, with the time, transform your grief in a different part of emotion, and you will gonna put it more deeper inside where it doesn't bother you non-stop on your daily life basis. Grief never stops. It's an ongoing thing for years and years. The only thing, it gets in a different stage, and it gets to that stage where you can put it deep down, and it will not gonna affect your everyday life anymore as much, and your emotions will be more calm. But it's only if you actually go through all grieving stages